So yesterday, the word obesity was trending on Twitter. Now, from what I can tell, the reason for this trend was, at least in part, the announcement from Krispy Kreme that they're going to give you free donuts. Well, free donuts, actually, multiple free donuts, if you can produce proof that you were vaccinated for COVID. And not just one donut. They'll give you a free donut every day for the rest of the year. Now, will anyone actually take them up on this? I mean, will anyone bring their medical paperwork into a Krispy Kreme shop every day for a year to get a free donut? Will anyone get the vaccine just for the free donuts? I don't know, but if I know anything about Americans, the answer is certainly yes. Now, keep one thing in mind, though. Krispy Kreme is known for reneging on these kinds of promises. There was a time many moons ago when you could go into a Krispy Kreme store anytime the Hot Now light was on and you could get a free donut if the sign said Hot Now. And there was a time many moons ago when I would often take advantage of that perk. But then, and I like to think this is thanks exclusively to my own gluttonous and greed, they stopped offering the free donuts. At least at the Krispy Kremes around where I live, that was the case. So now, Hot Now only means that the donuts are hot and fresh, which of course means that when the light isn't on, they aren't hot and fresh. And that's a problem because Krispy Kreme donuts are exceptional in that they are the only food item which goes from being heavenly as soon as it emerges from the oven to inedible 4 minutes later. The donuts are great when they're piping hot, but downright reprehensible at room temperature. The second law of thermodynamics has not been kind to Krispy Kreme. Anyway, I seem to have lost the plot somewhere. The point is that Krispy Kreme is trying to help fight COVID by giving out donuts, and this is potentially doing more harm than good, seeing as obesity is one of the major COVID risk factors. One of the reasons that COVID had hit us so hard is that we have so many obese people in this country. It doesn't seem like a great idea in light of that fact to encourage even more obesity. And it is that word obesity which prompted this tweet from actress Jamil, known for her role in that one show and also that other show. And oh yeah, did you ever see that thing about the person doing the thing? She's in that too, I think. Well, whoever she is, she tweeted this. She said, quote, "Obesity trending opens the floodgates to a tsunami of ignorant and illogical abuse against the fat community, lacking context, nuance, and humanity. Below is something I want you to understand." And then there's a picture with even more text, presumably written by her, saying, quote, "Obesity is trending. On the subject of obesity and the amount of people who die allegedly from it, I think it's important to keep reminding people that a lot of fat people die or become seriously ill because their symptoms of serious illness are ignored by doctors who blame everything on their weight and therefore don't investigate their health properly. Cancer, cysts, respiratory, brain tumors, life-threatening gynecological issues, etc., often missed by practitioners who are unable to see past their own fat phobia. So until people who are larger than average are treated equally by doctors and not dismissed and dehumanized so pervasively and frequently, we can't have an informed or fair conversation about any death rates or health issues related to obesity." Okay. Now, where to start? Maybe with this. She refers to the number of people who die allegedly from obesity. For the record, as far as that number goes, 78% of people hospitalized with COVID in the U.S. were overweight or obese. Worldwide, according to the World Health Organization, 2.8 million people die from obesity-related causes each year. And that's pre-COVID. Those are the pre-COVID numbers, 2.8 million worldwide. It's only gotten worse, not better. Jamil mentions that obese people die from cancer, cysts, respiratory issues, which are allegedly missed by the fat-phobic doctors. Well, it turns out that obesity increases your risk of developing all of those things. The doctors are not ignoring those health hazards by telling you to get your weight under control. They're telling you to get your weight under control because of those hazards and countless others. We see here the extent to which the words like equality and bigotry have lost their coherence. The words quite literally don't mean anything anymore. You may as well not say them because nobody will know what you mean when you do. No, doctors should not treat obese people equal to other people because they're not equal. If you're obese, you are less healthy, more at risk, more likely to die, and doctors absolutely ought to be taking that into account. Asking for a doctor to treat fat people equally is like complaining when your allergist gives you an inhaler because people without asthma don't need inhalers. So you're being treated unequally. Well, you gave me an inhaler. What about him? Why don't you give him one? Well, because he doesn't have asthma, you dope. You are, as a person with asthma, you are unequal to non-asthma people. Unequal as in not the same as. You are different. You have this risk factor and they don't. Is your doctor being asthma-phobic by giving you that inhaler? I suppose so. Yeah, he is. He is rightly afraid of what asthma might do to you, and so he's trying to treat it. In the same way, it is right to be afraid of what obesity might do to a person. Fat-phobic? Sure. I'm fat-phobic. I announce it proudly. I am fat-phobic. I don't want to be fat myself. I don't want my loved ones to be fat. I don't want anyone to be fat. I am phobic of that. I am phobic of people being fat. The reason I don't want that for myself or for anyone else is that I don't want to die. I don't want anyone else to die. Being fat not only can kill you, but it will. It will. There's a reason why you rarely see morbidly obese 80-year-olds. The reason is that obesity will shorten your lifespan. You are straining your body and your internal organs by carrying around all that extra baggage. Eventually, your body and your organs will be taxed to their limits. This is the reality. It's not pleasant, but that doesn't make it not real. So for all these extraordinarily obvious reasons, the idea of fat acceptance, the idea that there, even is such a thing as the fat community, which we must afford rights and equality to. I mean, think about that, fat community. It's utter and complete madness. Yet it's predictable madness in a culture where self-love is not only the highest love, but indeed the only love we recognize. We are encouraged to focus our sights inward, right? To value our emotional well-being above all else, to put ourselves before everything and everyone, to recognize no moral law but our own whims. We've seen the catastrophic consequences of living in a civilization that operates that way, and we've seen in many forms the great irony, which is that the more we focus on ourselves, the more we demand acceptance of ourselves and of our vices, the more we love ourselves in this way, the more damage we do to ourselves. We are loving ourselves to death, you might say. Even death by Krispy Kreme and other assorted junk foods. And for that reason, Jamil, whoever she is, and all the other apostles from the Church of Fat Acceptance, all must be forthwith canceled. Listen, hit that subscribe button right now. Do it right now. I thank you for your compliance. It is somewhat appreciated.